I'm sure you heard the phrase, listen to your body, but what does that actually mean? Hey, my name is Donny Velasco and welcome to another episode of Inward Monologue where I share some of my own inner thoughts, questions, and reflections. And this time I'm gonna try and listen to my body and actually hear what it has to say. So again, my name is Donny and this is Donny's Knee. What do you say, buddy? You ready to have a conversation?
I sure am, Donny. Are you?
So why don't we start off with an introduction?
Hi, everybody. I'm Donny's Knee.
Well, lovely to meet you, Donny's Knee. What do you want to start talking about?
Do you remember that time before 2012 where your knees were still uninjured and, your body was still good? Those were the good old days, don't you think?
Look, I can't disagree with you there, but, I've come to learn that you can't always live in the past.
Yeah, I know you can't live in your past, but I think it does help every now and then to look at your past and to use it as a place to learn some lessons so that you remember them moving forward. Like how you should keep exercising and not all of a sudden, after playing months and months, if not years of video games, think that you can all of a sudden run around and play competitive touch football or Oz tag without injuring yourself.
Okay, I get it. I should have probably put a bit more discipline and consistency when it came to fitness. But again, it's what's done is done.
Do you remember that time where you tried to outrun that person who played state touch football, but then you thought, oh, okay, maybe I can do it? And you did, but at the end of it, you tore me.
I guess so. Point taken. So there's my lesson learned, something of consistency and making sure that, I actually take the time to exercise, if not each day, at a regular consistency each week. But I think, Knee, that's sort of taking away from you. We came here to learn a bit more about you.
Yeah, okay, so what can I say? After 2012, after tearing my knee and also being on a waiting list, I eventually got ACL surgery to be recovered.
Yeah, I know, that is a lesson, a hard lesson that I had to learn, that I actually didn't read the fine print. I didn't actually see what was in my private health cover. And because I added the knee cover after the private health was already in place, I actually had to wait a full year before it cleared and before I could use any of those benefits when it came to my knee surgery.
Yeah, I actually do remember that time, and I was thinking, around about then, you would have been in your younger 20s and maybe you should have stayed under your parents' private health cover so that they could cover it a little bit for you instead of you having to fork out. Or at least you could get some discounts from the process altogether.
Potentially I could have, but I don't know if they would have liked that. I mean, they had already spent a lot of their private health taking care of other things like my braces and my wisdom teeth. So I thought it was about right that I was paying for my own medical bills. Don't you think?
I hate to sound like a broken record, but maybe you wouldn't have had to pay for any medical bills if, again, you were actually exercising consistently and weren't just playing video games.
Okay. I see where you're going. But, again, this is about introducing yourself. Tell us a bit more about your knee.
All right, my name is Donny, and before 2012, I was all good. And then after 2012, I had torn myself because I thought I could run faster than someone who played state odds tag. And even though I did end up running past them, it costed me my knee. And after that, we went through a bit of a lull because I started feeling sorry for myself for being injured for so long. Do you remember that?
And that is a hard one to hear. And it is true for my part that when I felt that my body wasn't in the best of shape, I found that it did impact a bit of my mental game, a bit of my self-esteem. I was feeling sorry for myself and it was hard to feel like I could pick myself up.
Yeah, and did you notice how even when it came to the surgery for the rehab period, you weren't really as motivated as well because you were still feeling sorry for yourself?
Yeah, I have to say, after the surgery, I was still feeling, a bit sorry for myself. And it wasn't until I actually encountered CrossFit for the first time. I had heard of it before, but my wife started going to CrossFit sessions and was encouraging me to come along for a free trial. And that's where I actually met this really great guy, this really great community. I met Tim Doonan and his wife, Jess Doonan, and the way in which they were super encouraging for someone who had never gone to the gym before, for someone who had never engaged in something that programmatic when it came to physical fitness. I just felt like I was rediscovering myself and, discovering really things that I thought I couldn't do were things that I was actually able to do if I put in the right time, the discipline, and had great support and great coaches around me as well.
Yeah, I have to say that's when I started really noticing a difference in you. You started treating yourself and others differently. You started seeing yourself and others in a different way.
Because of that experience, because of the initial discipline of wanting to squeeze in CrossFit sessions and full-time work, it meant that something had to give, that there needed to be time that we needed to put in so that we could get to these sessions. And it just so ended up that given our time, our schedules, our work, the things that we volunteer for, that the mornings were the best time for you and I need to actually jump into these CrossFit sessions. So for the first time in my life, for a consistent period, and I'm talking about months and now what has become years, Nee and I have been trying to wake up early in the morning, something like 4:30, 5 o'clock at the latest. And we've tried to make to as many CrossFit sessions or exercise sessions in the morning, because we feel like, or we've come to know that actually establishes us for the day and makes us feel positive about ourselves and what we can do and what we can offer to the day ahead.
I really thought that point in your life was really a change to your whole attitude to life.
And it really was. It really was a change to my attitude in my life. I started seeing myself differently. I started seeing myself in a more positive light. And it also really allowed me to engage with others. And it wasn't like I wasn't joyful before when I was around other people, but it really allowed me to celebrate them, to really celebrate who they are, and to really show interest in knowing their story. And I think that just went hand in hand with being part of a community through the CrossFit community. And it really changed my outlook on life. Again, not just for myself, but for how I see other people and how I see the world.
Yeah, I think that's enough for me. I think your viewers will think you're a little bit weird for talking to me, but thank you in any case for being mindful of your body and for including me in the conversation and for speaking really good body language. I really appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks, Nee. Thanks for that. And thank you for reminding me that I should really take the time to listen to my body, to cooperate with my body, and to recognize when it's trying to encourage me to a certain direction, to a certain way, because my body speaks a language. Should I have big enough and open enough ears to listen? So why don't we do this one together, bud? Let's go.
But let's go!